Yeah, Conspiracy News 10. Just dropped 9. Long overdue cause I was banned, but let's get to it. Let's start it off with some juicy shit. Stalled century. Shout out Den Keeper. OSAMA bin Laden is back. And not of all the places he went viral on TikTok. Scripted in reality. Shit is crazy, bro. Saw this on the cover of the news, that's why I was like, I had to get to it. Truth is hidden in plain sight, man. I don't know how many other conspiracy kind of things I gotta say, man. Like dead ass. Just waiting for the shit to load up. Yeah, how y'all doing today? Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and all that. Follow me on Instagram.com. Nah, we don't do that here at Conspiracy News. We don't do that in Conspiracy News, you heard? Of course, it's not gonna load up. It's not gonna load up. It's not gonna load up. Okay, here we go. Get some video rolling. Decades-old document allegedly written by OSAMA bin Laden entitled Letter to America recently went viral on TikTok, with some young Americans believing that Al-Qaeda founder made valid points about their country. The 2-page document, which was published by The Guardian, is a letter bin Laden wrote, an explanation of ideologically that led him to orchestrate the 9/11 attacks. Wow. A document written by Saudi-born terrorist Osama bin Laden 21 years ago to explain the ideology behind the 9/11 attacks has suddenly become viral on social media, as many Americans claim to have found some truth in the words of the Al-Qaeda founder. In the document titled Letter to America and written in 2002, U.S. bin Laden goes... Okay. This is why I get flagged. Come on, man. Loop that. Okay. He blames the country's intervention in the Middle East, including its decade-long support for the state of Israel, for the bloodshed of both Afghans and Palestinians. In the letter, the 9/11 mastermind pinpoints the U.S. oppression the U.S. for the oppression of the Palestinian people by Israel, writing the creation and continuation of Israel is one of the greatest crimes, and you are the leaders of its criminals. Each and every person whose hands have become polluted in the contribution towards this crime may pay its price, and pay for it heavily. Bin Laden wrote that Palestinians had to be revenged, same as the people of Afghanistan, and that it justified the killing of American civilians. The American people are the ones who pay the taxes which fund the bomb planes that bomb us in Afghanistan, the tanks that strike, but we don't control that. That's the thing. You can't blame the civilians, man. That's outrageous. But bin Laden, the son of a wealthy Saudi businessman, was the founder of the terrorist organization Al-Qaeda, which he created in 1988 after the Soviet Union withdrew from Afghanistan. Bin Laden had fought in the conflict against the Soviets. Al-Qaeda grew under bin Laden's leadership, launching deadly attacks and bombing all over the world, culminating in the September 11th attacks. Still pushing the September 11th, still pushing the war and the agenda and what's going on to this day with the Hamas and the Israels right now. But let me read some of what he said in it. Palestine, which has sunk under military occupation for more than 80 years, is crazy. It brings us both laughter and tears to see you have not tired of repeating your fabricated lies that the Jews have historical right to Palestine as it was promised to them in the Torah. Anyone who disputes with them on this alleged fact is accused of anti-Semitism. This is one of the most fallacious, widely circulated fabrications in history. The people of Palestine are pure Arabs and original Semites. It is the Muslims who are the inheritors of Moses. Peace be upon him, and the inheritors of the real Torah have not been changed. Muslims believe in all of the prophets, include Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad. Peace, blessings of Allah be upon them all. And the followers most have been promised a right to Palestine in the Torah. Then the Muslims are the most worthy nation of this. When the Muslims conquered Palestine and drove out the Romans, Palestine and Jerusalem returned to Islam, the religion of all the prophets, peace be upon them. Therefore, their call to historical right to Palestine cannot be raised against the Islamic Ummah that believes in prophets of Allah. And the blood pouring out of Palestine must equally revenge. We must know what the Palestinians do not cry alone, their women not widowed alone, their sons not orphaned alone. Wow, this is crazy. I agree with this. You steal our wealth and oil at pound tree prices because of your international influence and military threats. This theft is indeed the biggest theft ever witnessed by mankind in the history of the world. You force to occupy our countries, you spread your military bases throughout them, you corrupt our lands and besiege our sanctities to protect the security of Jews and to assure the community. Continue of your spillage of our treasures. Wow, this is deep. Alright, man, I can't read this, man. This is... Yeah, that's real. Your policy on prohibiting and forcibly removing weapons of mass destruction to ensure world peace, it not only applies to those countries where you do not permit to possess such weapons. As far as countries you consent to, such as Israel, they are allowed to keep and use such weapons to defend their security. Anyone else you suspect might be manufacturing or keeping these kinds of weapons, you call them criminals and take military actions against them. Whoa. Spitting right now. Bin Laden spitting. I ain't gonna say a word, but you heard what I said in the beginning of that. Alright, SpaceX second launch ends in explosion. 2 failed attempts blowing up millions of dollars, billions of dollars in your face in Brownsville. As you saw in the beginning, Brownsville, that's where my mom lives, man. We need to get him out of there, man. He made all the houses, the real estate go up and make it more unaffordable for people out there, man. This is crazy, G. Like, dead ass crazy. That shit don't even look real. It was real, though. It also exploded. And how did we get to the moon? This is the conspiracy. If we got to the moon twice, 3 times, whatever they say NASA, why can't we get back there? Why can't even we put a rocket in space? Something ain't right with that. Something just ain't right. Shout out to Hassan Campbell. Oh, yeah. I kind of did it backwards today. I did the most important last. Space got separated from the huge booster, which was key goal for the flight. Oh, shit. Saw that. Alright, let me go back to this after the explosion and I'll read what happened. This is the SpaceX waste of money launch test flight. That they can't even get somebody in space, but they got people to the moon. I don't know about that. Bam! In your face. You gone. See ya! Damn, man, that was crazy, B. The spaceship will continue on its flight until the SpaceX lost contact with it, the company said. Alright. Now let's go back to this, because the UFO with aura around is spotted flying perfectly straight from plane window in Colombia, my home country. Passengers aboard a plane were left shocked when they spotted a UFO with an aura around it 35,000 feet in the air, report the Daily Star. The supposed extraterrestrial craft was flying perfectly straight above a cloud. It was black in color with an unusual shape, the passenger said. Those above the Colombia internal flight, which was heading from Bogota to Salento, recorded the object. The subsequent clips went viral, uploaded to the Ensaladilla YouTube channel. The video shows a craft that resembles a stereotypical flying saucer. The middle compartment of the UAP, unidentified area phenomenon, has widened and become thinner towards the top, which was domed in the bottom. The supposed video evidence has led to excitement in the alien enthusiast community. The social media page of the popular UFO hunter, the Hunting Underbelly 2.0, then shared the clip. The object seems to have the classic saucer shape, and look how it's cruising along nonchalant, he said. Now it makes you wonder that being this is in Colombia, there is a high activity of these objects. Could there be some localized base, or is this some sort of government testing? While some social media users maintain that the object was a drone, Hidden Underbelly disagreed. He provided a contrary point. Because you've got to understand, this plane has to be pretty high to be cruising, and it is above the clouds. Could a drone get this high? This has no other shape to it like a plane, a helicopter, and in my opinion, that doesn't even look like a drone. The social media user then asked for on their opinions, what they thought the craft might be. Some people said that the trajectory of the mysterious flying object was similar to that of a balloon. It is flying perfectly straight. That looks like the sources that have been seen over the years over Mexico and Mount Popo, they argued. So let's check it out. Let's see how real, man. UFOs are
En Latam nos encanta ser parte de sus celebraciones. Por eso queremos felicitar a una princesa muy especial llamada Ana Sofía, quien se encuentra hoy.
Is the video real? It sounds real. So trippy, bro. UFOs making a comeback. Now all of a sudden they real and everywhere. That shit's trippy.
So guys, here's what I know about this footage. This was sighted a few days ago during a domestic flight in Colombia. Now, let's take a
Alright, back to this. SpaceX Starship test flight ends in another explosion. Waste of money. That's a waste of money. That's a waste of money. That's a waste of money. Yeah. Having fun today. Conspiracy News 10, my G. Okay, let's go. Got it. Elon Musk, you going in the dust. Yeah, your Cybertruck sucks. Hey, word up. Don't invest and believe in this implant. Like y'all say, a plant, industry plant. Elon Musk is a society plant. His story don't make sense. I don't know how he has those. Alright, let's go. SpaceX launches mega rocket Starship on Saturday, but lost the booster. Then the spacecraft minutes into the test flight. SpaceX launches mega rocket Starship, but lost both booster and the spacecraft in a pair of explosions minutes into Saturday's test flight. The rocket ship reached space following liftoff from South Texas before communication suddenly was lost. SpaceX officials said it appears the ship's self-destruct system blew it up over the Gulf of Mexico. Minutes earlier, the separated booster had exploded over the Gulf. By then, though, its job was done. Saturday's demo lasted 8 minutes or so, about twice as long as the first test in April, which also ended in an explosion. The latest flight came to an end as the ship's 6 engines were almost done firing to put it on an around-the-world path. At nearly 400 feet, the Starship is the biggest and most powerful rocket ever built, with the goal of ferrying people to the moon and Mars. if you wanna go to Mars, you gon' blow up like that sink ship in fucking Ocean Gate. The real topping of the cake today that the successful liftoff, said SpaceX commentator what? That ain't, it's sports, it's fake. John Instructor, noting that all 33 boosters engine fired as designed. Unlike last time, the booster also separated seamlessly from the spaceship, which reached an altitude of 92 miles. Added commentator Kate Tice, we got so much data and that will help us improve for our next flight. SpaceX founder Elon Musk watched from behind launch controllers at the southern tip of Texas near the Mexican border near Boca Chica Beach at company headquarters in Hawthorne, California. Employees cheered as the Starship soared at daybreak. The room grew quiet once it was clear that the spaceship had been destroyed. SpaceX had been aiming for an altitude of 150 miles, just high enough to send a bullet shaped spacecraft around the globe before ditching into the Pacific near Hawaii after 1.5 hours after liftoff, short of a full orbit. Following April's flight demo, SpaceX made dozens of improvements to the rocket as well as the launch pad. The Federal Aviation Administration cleared the rocket for flight on Wednesday after confirming that it met all safety and environmental concerns. After Saturday's launch, the FAA said no injuries or public damage had been reported and that an investigation was underway to determine what went wrong. SpaceX cannot launch another spaceship until the review is complete and the corrections have been made, the FAA added. NASA is counting on Starship to land astronauts on the moon by end of 2025 or shortly thereafter. Bullshit, it's not gonna happen. Never went to the moon. We don't even know if the moon is real. The space agency awarded SpaceX a $3 billion contract to make it happen by transferring astronauts from its Orion capsule to Starship in lunar orbit before heading down to the surface. Today's test is an opportunity to learn and fly again, noted NASA Administrator Bill Nelson via X. Starship is 34 feet taller than NASA's Saturn V rocket, which carried men to the moon more than half a century ago. Didn't happen. Taller than NASA's Space Launch System rocket that flew around the moon and back. Didn't happen. Without a crew last year, and it's got approximately double the liftoff. Like before, nothing of the value was aboard the Starship of the trial run. Once Starship is proved, Musk plans to use the fully reusable mega rockets to launch satellites to orbit around Earth and equipment and people to the moon, eventually to Mars. All fake. I can't take none of this bullshit anymore, and we out. Peace. I'm gonna do a few reactions, alright? Peace. Conspiracy News. JQ. Hey.